All right, Mick. Saskatchewan Roughriders and the BC Lions. You notice every team in the CFL has like a main rival. You know what I'm saying? Except BC, really. Like BC's rival is the Roughriders, kind of. Like they don't like the Roughriders. Except the Roughriders hate the Bombers more. They're Banjo Bowl, right? So my point is, this is a very big game for the BC Lions. Like they're 4-1 on the season, yet they're in a really tough division. A playoff spot's not guaranteed for them. They lost to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, in which was a real sort of test game. No shame in losing to the Bombers, but you know the BC Lions schedule has been pretty gratuitous for them. Well, I guess what I'm getting at here is if the BC Lions are for real, they win this football game. Like if they send a message, they go on the road, they beat the Rough Riders on Friday Night Football with Cody Fajardo back. That's a big message, Mick. And historically, I know because I've been at a couple of these games, and I remember getting screwed over in the last second. So I went back and I looked, and the last time the BC Lions beat these guys was August the 5th, 2017, Mick.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
They've lost 31-24, 33-29, 27-19, 45-18. So you see the last few times, though, 31-24, 33-29, 27-19. BC are much better this year. It's payback. Forget about the streak. The BC Lions win tonight, Mick. Who you got? Who wins the game?
Oh, I'd love it. I see they started at 5-point favorite, but now they're 1-point underdog, if I'm correct. That's probably because the Watermelon Head Riders have got some of the players back from the COVID. But you're right, it's a good rivalry. Couple of BC Lions players, great players, have finished their career there. G. Roy Simon and Jason Claremont, and there's been some great games over there in Regina over the years. Beautiful stadium, Dave. You should check it out. It's built beautifully, and I wish I was there. I really do. Should be a great night. They're not quite selling out like they used to over there. Few reasons, but it'll be a big crowd and a great atmosphere on TV.
Beautiful
you
stadium.
Over or under, Nick? It says 49 is the total right now. Is this a high-scoring game or a low-scoring game?
Oh, I think you got to nearly go over all the time in the CFL. I don't know the exact number, but for the first few weeks, most of the games
it was
63%.
It was 63% going into last week. Now it's at 59%. But it's still,
right.
You know, they still find a way. It's like, these games find a way to go over. Even last night, the game stayed under, but, man, there were a million chances for it to go over. It just didn't. It was frustrating, Dave. I had a teaser, Alouettes plus 10 over 42, 24-17 final score. I missed by a single point.
Missed point.
Remember we talked about if you jackass punter kicking the damn end zone, I would have won my teaser.
Right. Mick, how do you feel about that? Do you think they should kick it more for the 1-point thing? And because Gabe and Cam and I were talking about it yesterday. And
I say take the point, Mick, every time. I would boot it into the end zone every time. I just rack up the single point every time.
Well, it's the Rouge for you Americans. It's very unique to Canadian football, and there's several ways to score.
I don't even call it a Rouge. It's a single point.
I think it's great. There's some really unique rules, Dave, for the CFL, and Americans are watching it. The die-hard fans are getting on ESPN2 or whatever and watching, so it's great. And I hope that more and more Americans watch the game because it really is exciting. Like the wide receivers run onto the line of scrimmage. They don't have to be stationary. There's some really unique, nice rules that I like the CFL. Love the NFL as well, of course, but the CFL is great to watch.
Mick,
everyone can be emotion in the CFL.
Out. Morency brought this up to me yesterday and said these people are talking about changing from 3 downs to 4 downs. You're a fan of the league. You're a fan of the game. Would you change it to 4 downs?
No. Strong no. Has to stay unique to the CFL. Sure, we need new, younger viewers. Absolutely we do. And especially now I'm doing some work for the Elks. We're doing some amazing stuff online with videos and social media. They're really trying to get the young crowd back. we do need that. There's a bit of a lost generation, but no, definitely stick to the 3 downs. You got to keep it unique, Canadian, but we love the Americans coming up here because there's some really good, talented American players up here. Because what do you got? 10,000 kids coming out of college each year, and how many can make the NFL? And here we go again with the BC Lions. James Butler, the running back, played at Iowa. Like, it's fantastic, going really well for the BC Lions. So we unearthed some really good talent here in the CFL.
What's your pick, Mick?
Oh, BC. No, I'm with you, Gabe. I watched your video this afternoon with your bucket hat on. I do like the Lions. Riders have been banged up and suspensions. That idiot from the D-line. No, I like the BC. I'm not too worried about them playing over there in Regina. They should be okay with that. I really hope the BC Lions win in Regina.
All right, we got Mick Aussie with us talking CFL football right now. Big game here tonight. Big game. I think the BC Lions can get it done. Not a great scheduling spot for Saskatchewan either. They played on Sunday. Dave, we should note Saskatchewan were without 10 guys with COVID and their starting quarterback. One of their best defensive linemen is suspended still. So their quarterback is back. They got some guys back from COVID and stuff. But they're not great to begin with. I know it's a tough place to play. They are 3-1 at home. All right, Mick, let's get to Saturday's game. Winnipeg Blue Bombers, 7-0 on the season, 5-2 against the spread. Calgary are 4-1 straight up, and their only loss was to Winnipeg this year. To put it in perspective, guys, Zach Collaros, if you remember, he was Cincinnati Bearcat quarterback when Coach Kelly was there. He actually played in that Sugar Bowl against Tim Tebow. Zach Collaros is the quarterback of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Zach Collaros' record is now 24-2, Mick, as a starter with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. He started 26 games. He's won 24 of them. And the 2 games they lost were actually games that didn't matter to them late in the season that they didn't care about. I think Winnipeg want to run the table and go undefeated. And you're getting a 7-0 football team, the 2-time defending champions, a 24-2 quarterback, and the game is a pick'em. I got to take the Bombers. Who you taking, Mick?
Wow, you got 2 of the best quarterbacks, and yes, Zach Collaros started in Toronto, then Hamilton. I'm glad to see he's over his concussion issues. And Bo Levi Jeans Mitchell back. He's fit and he's healthy, and he's probably the number 1 quarterback, the safest, I think, in the CFL now that Mike Riley's retired. I don't like to do this because I'm not a fan of the arrogant Stampeders, but I'm actually going to pick them to win at home. I think the Bombers have been a little bit lucky to be with so many wins. The Stamps are slightly better on offense rating and defense on the statistics. So I think the Stampeders at home might get it done. And I was nearly going to drive down there for the game because it's going to be an absolute ripper there at McMahon Stadium in Calgary.
How many hours drive is that for you?
3 hours, so we're half an hour to the edge of Edmonton, then 2.5 hours from Edmonton to Calgary. You can do it in under 3 if you don't stop, but you got to stop and then head down there. But I will be there in a month's time. I booked a hotel room on the Monday night of the Labor Day long weekend, got the Tuesday off, so Edmonton Elks at Calgary, September long weekend. Should be fantastic. Going there with a few fans from here as well.
The Labor Day Classic, as it's called. That's what they call it, Dave. Labor Day Classic. Toronto and Hamilton and Edmonton and Calgary play on a Monday.
Is that a bigger rivalry like the Battle of Alberta, like with the hockey? I mean,
yeah.
The Edmonton and Calgary. That's awesome. And they play every year, Labor Day weekend?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Mick, you're on the Stampeders. All right, here's another one. The last game of the week. The point spread's coming down. It was 5.5. I'm seeing 4.5s on the board here right now. The Ottawa Red Blacks are 0-6 straight up on the season. They're 2-4 against the spread. The Toronto Argonauts are 3-2 straight up and 3-2 ATS. Toronto are kind of lucky, and Ottawa are very unlucky. And I know it's cliche to say that they're good, you know what I mean, that they deserve better and all this and 0-6, but all of that is true. Like, Ottawa is in every game. Like, they've had bad luck. They've had a tough schedule, really hard schedule. I think this is the spot they can win. I think they can win this game outright, Mick. I like them a lot, plus the points. if they lose, they'll lose like by 1 point or something. If you look at Toronto's wins, they don't really blow anybody out. I think Ottawa can hang with these guys. I think the game comes down to the wire. And Ottawa either wins outright or they lose a heartbreaker. I'm taking the Ottawa Red Blacks plus the points. Who do you got, Mick?
Yes, I agree. I saw your video this afternoon. Well, they got the policeman on their side because Paul Police, the new coach of the Ottawa Red Blacks, he's a beauty. I like him. They have been very unlucky. Oh, the Argos with Andrew Harris, the former star BC Lion and Winnipeg Blue Bomber, the Canadian running back. He had a monster game out there in Regina last week. I'll take the Argos to win just, but I like your pick on the Red Blacks to cover. And I do. I hope they get a win there in Toronto.
All right, Mick, before we get you out of here, any AFL locks tonight? Any Stone Cold Steve Austin locks tonight in the AFL? Because this league is kind of me and Dave. Yeah, we're running out of money here, huh?
This got me. I stay up late and I'm checking the scores and I'm not.
Let me look at my TV here. What game's on TV tonight?
I don't know.
Let me see what the TV game is, if there's a TV game here.
Port Adelaide is only a 5.5 point spread. This is got to be the hardest game of the whole season. It's never this low of a spread.
What round are we in, Mick? What week are we going into here?
Oh, 20. We're into round 20 of round 23. And Dave, you're right. That Port Adelaide Power Patsmeres versus the Collingwood Magpies is a really good game. And there's a big fella for Collingwood called Mason Cox. He's an American guy. He's still Oklahoma in State Cowboy. Doing okay, yeah. He's like 7 foot tall. I like the Magpies to get it done just. Hey, there's no lock in sports. You guys are the professionals. You know that. But I will say, I'll give you a multi. And these are tonight's games because you don't want to wait till Saturday. Take the Swans and the Blues in a money line multi, -141, and add the Saints, +194. That would be the safest that I think might get it done.
I just don't trust the Sydney Swans anymore.
They got us last time, didn't they?
They've got me a few times, Dave. They're Swanish. You can't bet on the team that is Swan. Hey, listen, I like the Geelong Cats here, Mick. So let's get a multi going here. Geelong's not losing here. These guys they're a machine, that team. So
-290. Okay.
All right. So, yeah, this is Geelong Cats against Western.
It's 19.5. That's too many.
Yeah, money line.
19. Okay, all right. That's fine.
Gold Coast are favored by 550 against West Coast. God, we're terrible.
What?
What's another lock here, Mick? The Bombers, Essendon against North Melbourne.
Oh, yeah, but it's not paying much, is it?
No.
-41 in the spread? How bad?
Yeah, but look at the money line, Dave. It's 950.
-1,300 I have at my place. It's -1,300. These lines
I'll give you a
so
couple more.
incredible.
I'll give you a couple more. You ready? So the fourth leg of the multi, the Magpies should get it done over the Port Adelaides. And you're right. I do like the Cats to beat the Bulldogs only because it's in Geelong and they very rarely lose down there. But I think the Dogs might cover that 19.5 points. So there's a couple more for you. And I think the Blues will beat my terrible, putrid Adelaide Crows by more than 16.5.
All right, listen. I won't wuss out here. This is the last time. And I tell you, hey, Dave, Dubsy's a Swan fan, too. That's his team, the Sydney Swans. One last time. It's the last time we trust them. Sydney Swans, Geelong Cats, parlay. -155, I'm playing it. There's the play, Mick. There's the multi. Cats and Swans. Geelong and Sydney. Geelong and Sydney. -155. It's going to win. That's the play, Mick.
And I tell you what, I like those two teams to maybe go all the way. So if you want to put a few dollars on the Swans to do very well in the finals, they might do well. And guys, remember,
Geelong are +220 favorites.
Yeah. And remember, guys, Do your homework like Kyler Murray. Otherwise, you'll be getting in trouble with your bosses. So do your homework, guys. What a joke. That's funny, eh?
I think it's being overblown a little bit. But yeah.
Right. Just a little.
Thanks, Mick.
Just a little.
See you later. Have a good weekend.